I'm going to make presentations on lessons learned, best practices under the FFA project. The FFA project that Cartias is currently implementing in the Archdiocese of Bulawayo is supported by 6 pillars, namely agroecology, water supply, silk, community-led DRM, integrated watershed management, and food provision. All these are integrated under the banner of improved livelihood. So I'm going to present 10 points for learning that we see that they are worth talking about. But before I go into that, I have to zero in on the assets that are currently being implemented under this project. We have assets in Ward 5, 8, 3, 4, and 14, all of uniform design, consisting of irrigation, deep tanks, integrated watershed, and also these assets have been extended to household level. Number one, the lesson that we noted was it is always very appropriate to be guided by the relevance of the project. The project must be needs driven, and we noted that our response was appropriate because we are responding to the current effects of drought, of which it means the participation of the communities was out of passion. It was driven by passion, and it was driven by need, and it came out voluntarily. The communities were not forced. Participation was generally out of voluntary and passion drivenness. On appropriateness, we also have seen that maintaining the standards is very, very important. We are guided by quite a number of standards that are globally driven, where on agroecology, we are driven by the organic approaches. We also have silk, saving and internal lending communities. We have adopted the CRS Catholic Relief Service standards on silk approaches. We also have adopted the Niger standards on integrated watershed management. This has also been appreciated by the communities there. And overall, under the current context of COVID, we are guided by the standard operational procedures and guidelines. When it comes to community participation, we noted that the pillar that enhances participation is when the communities are able to engage the relevant stakeholders, and they are able to also to do participatory hazard mapping, and when they are able to come up with their own action plan. This was guided by the standards of community-led DRM. Community-led DRM. Through participation by the communities in community-led DRM at the initiation stages of the project, the communities are able to map their own hazards and see how best they can improve them on their own at household level. This has enabled them to come up with integrated watershed management approaches, where through integrated watershed management approaches, they are able to come up with other livelihood options that are separate from the current activities that they are doing. Because what we are saying is, within a watershed area, all the amount of water must not just be put to waste. The communities must put it for a purpose. Through the integrated watershed approach, the communities will be able to diversify their livelihoods and create more livelihood opportunity. And you'll notice that as a result of community DRM, the communities now have been able to come up with debt level contours, still of the standard 1.7 by 0.3, going down by 200 meters, that are also able to cushion them when it comes to the time of planting. So debt level contours have also come in handy. In terms of participation, we noted that participation is enhanced through the group approach. We have come up through with a model of field agents. The role of field agents, they are more like community trainers who are also able to complement the locally based extension services. So these people, one, as field agents, they are also able to form groups. In particular now, they've managed to form quite a number of groups that are saving and internal lending community groups. The other point that we have is when it comes to complaints handling. The communities must be given a fair ground to present their complaints without any victimization. So this system that is in place, where we have the help desk, even the toll-free line that is displayed, has enabled the communities to shape their decisions. Number 6, stakeholder coordination. Effective stakeholder collaboration also enhances the project to be the responsibility of all, allocation of roles and responsibilities. Everyone fully participates in the project and they have a say on the project, which also leads to sustainability. As part of learning, we noted that effective coordination meetings, they are very important. KPIs, this is where we sit jointly with the partner to review the performance of the project, and even the exchange visits that enhance learning. But above all, here we are driven by an integrated approach. Integrated approach, it means we are not just looking at a project only as a separate project from others. We mainstream the contents of a project through other projects that are already there at the community level. This is why we have come up with the concept of ambassadors. And this is why we also have come up with the concept of farmers learning and exchanging from each other. On number 8, we also do not forget about the effectiveness of staff performance. We continue to appraise the staff and we continue to train staff on various approaches and concepts. As I said, the concepts include agroecology, includes saving and internal lending communities, community-led DRM, integrated watershed management. And finally, last but not least, I will also talk about the allocation and effectiveness of resources. Everything, this FFA project is guided by the concept of pre-financing, which means you spend first and then you are reimbursed. So it's not a grant approach. So you have to put, it is very important for one to put the money to good use. What is claimed on invoice so that is reimbursed must be verified and acknowledged by the community that indeed it was done before the reimbursement is made. Because if a false claim is made against an invoice, it also delays the sustainability of your project. And also it is very good to note that with FFA project, you have to have a good planning, a good financial plan when it comes to planning, because at times you may start with an advance which you later reimburse. So I think on invoicing, someone has to take a very cautious approach and ensure sound management systems. Number 10, markets, global markets. We really saw that the importance of planting high value crops. This is just a crop not for local market. Yes, it has got a local market, but it enables farmers to realize new opportunities for market. Like in all these irrigation schemes, farmers have now gone for all these turmeric crops and they are earmarking the global market. I think this is the way to go through Vision 2030. The integrated watershed management approach is also these days one of the greatest innovations. We have copied this approach from the Bangladesh strategy, where we have come up with a concept to say within a watershed area, there should be 2 or 3 livelihood projects that come in, which means people must not just do activities that do not benefit them in terms of their livelihoods, but take advantage of every opportunity that comes out through the integrated watershed management approach. Like for example, currently in Ward 4, we have dead level contours that have been established across the fields. We also now have got what we call half moons. These will create even opportunities for recharging the underground water system, but at the same time also come in under rangeland management. These approaches have also been taken to household level. And finally, the community-led driven plan through community-led DRM. So in short, we can safely say these are some of the points that we have taken on board in order to see the effectiveness and success of the FFA project. Thank you.